This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Sure to read them throughout the show. Back to you, Sister Macy.
Welcome back to another episode of Explore Mountain States.
That's it for the weather update.
Moving on to our district news update.
Only here
on INCRadio Mountain States.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Once again, you're tuning in here live to INCRadio Mountain States. Happy Saturday to all of those here in the west side of the world, and good morning, happy Sunday to those in the east side. It is currently 4:03 p.m. Pacific time, 5:03 Mountain time, and 7:03 a.m. in the Philippines. We're happy to have you all here with us today for another exciting topic. In line with our series for this month of June. So if you haven't already heard, our topic is specifically for the parents to help their kids, and it's the ultimate schoolwork survival guide for parents, because we all know that homework can be a source of stress, projects, assignments for both our children and the parents. I personally don't have children myself, but having experience in the education field, I've already seen it, and I'm so glad that we have a topic like this to help everybody with these sources of stress. So today we'll be able to cover effective ways to make this process more smooth, more productive, and more inviting and relaxing and peaceful for everyone, especially when we really need to help our students and our children succeed in their education. But of course, we want to say hello to the wonderful crew who are with us today. Let's say hello to Brother Ron and Sister Macy. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. I'm so excited to have, especially without the Macy having her children here, and then Brother Ron having experience, their children are all grown, and I know his youngest, Bea, just graduated. So congratulations to Bea. She just graduated this year. And so to have parental insight, as well as our audience here who is with us, to have your insight, and even from the teachers who are in our viewership, we would love to hear what you have to say in order to help those parents who might be first-time parents who might be struggling to figure out the best ways to help their kids succeed in their educational successes, right? But if you, of course, moving forward, if you are watching on YouTube here, please be sure to leave your comments and your greetings. I can already see so many people saying their hellos. Personal favorite shout out to my mom. Thanks for watching, Ma. And be sure to like this YouTube video, like this channel, subscribe to our channel, leave your comments and your greetings with your hashtag local congregation, so that we can recognize your participation here with us on INCRadio Mountain States. We're always so excited to have you here, to have your participation. Of course, the show would be nothing without our viewership. And we do want to ask a live chat, to keep you engaged with us, to keep you on your toes, especially for our parents. What do you find most challenging when assisting or helping our children with their assignments, right? What do you find most challenging? Even for our parents who've gone through this when your kids were younger, what did you find most challenging? Was it the content? Was it the projects themselves? So tell us what your thoughts are so far, so that we can have more discussion points to talk about, anything that you would like opinions on, we would love to touch on. But before we move on with our topic discussion, I know that our district has been quite busy. So many activities once again, and we're very excited to be able to share some of the photos of what's been going on. So we're going to go ahead and move forward with our CFO in action with Sister Macy.
CFO in action.
All right.
CFO in action.
Perfect. Macy, tell us what's been going on in Mountain States.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, good afternoon to everyone. We have been very busy. This past week, we had the Binhi formal at the Henderson Chapel Function Hall. As you can see, our beautiful brothers and sisters over there enjoying each other's company, dressed really nicely and enjoying the evening for INC radio. I mean, INC radio for the District of Mountain States Binhi formal. There they are, all smiles. They did some fun games and activities that they can bond with each other, as well as enjoyed some really wonderful food. There were also some performances from our talented brothers and sisters in the Binhi organization here in the District of Mountain States. It's funny seeing a lot of these pictures because I see them and I've known them before as CWS, and now I can't believe how many years have passed, and now they are Binhi members. Yeah, and for those who don't know, Binhi are the baptized members of the Church of Christ until 17 years old. So we're just sharing you the pictures right now that showed how much fun they had at this Binhi formal.
Yes, they decorated the function hall beautifully out there. I just want to mention.
I know. It was really cool. After the Binhi formal, there was also the Las Vegas Children's Worship Service Time to Draw Boba edition. Yeah, so all the children in the CWS in the local of Las Vegas gathered on a Sunday, actually after their worship service, and did this special arts activity where I believe they were drawing boba, if I'm not mistaken. But it was really cool. The different renditions, different colors, different flavors that they're imagining for their own boba drink. They've put it all there. And of course, the local of North Las Vegas did an INC Giving clothing drive that is sponsored by the North Las Vegas Binhi. So this is where we teach our youth at a very early age to start sharing their blessings, right? Being able to put together clothes that they can donate for those that needed it more. And also to teach them not to be wasteful, because everything that they have, if they're not using them, it doesn't mean they're useless. They can always still share this with the community and be put to good use. Once again, that is the local of North Las Vegas INC Giving clothing drive, sponsored by the North Las Vegas Binhi. Back to you, Sister Princess. Oh, I mean Princess.
Thank you. So yes, our activity has, there's been so many here in Mountain States. I just want to give an extra shout out because the District Binhi and the district officers were able to really decorate the function hall of Henderson for their Binhi formal. I was genuinely surprised and I'm very impressed with how beautifully that they decorated it. So I just want to give them an extra shout out. And it seemed from the feedback that they had a lot of fun. So I remember
they're very creative right now, our kids. And before I forget, also, Princess, there's this upcoming activity as well for our district, which is coming up this weekend. So we want to be able to promote it to everyone that's watching us live right now. I see there's a lot of you already on the live chat, and some of you are very much involved in this. Please remember our special gathering for all students and parents that have college, high school, middle school, kindergarten, and preschool graduates. This day is specially made for you, brethren. It's this Sunday, that's tomorrow, June 9th at 5 p.m. Pacific. And here in Nevada, for the brethren in the Nevada region, we are all going to gather at the local of Henderson. And for the remote sites, we will have venues in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Colorado Springs for the Colorado region, and also Denver. And then we have Salt Lake City for Utah, Phoenix, and Tucson for the Arizona region. So we hope to all see you there. Again, this is sponsored by our Christian Brotherhood International, CBI, and it's a special gathering for the graduates and parents of the graduates. Congratulations to you all.
Yes, congratulations to the class of 2024. How exciting. It's crazy to say 2024. It's my 10th year anniversary for high school. So, woo! Go 10 years after high school. And then congrats again to all the grads this year. Moving forward.
You mean it wasn't yesterday? I thought it was just yesterday.
That was yours out there. Man, time flies by so quickly. What do they say? The days are long, but the years are short. So it's just so crazy to see how our youth has grown. Like you said, a lot of the Binhi or the youth members, we've known them since they were young children, even babies. And so seeing them so grown now is, I think I finally understand what my church siblings would always tell me. They would just say, you've grown so much. It's crazy to see you, at this age, or yada, yada. And I'm like, what? But now I understand, because I say the same thing to our Binhi members in the CWS. Okay, well, moving forward, speaking of the youth, of course, we already mentioned our topic is going to really be helping parents with their assistance in helping their children with their homework. A lot of the times it can get frustrating if we don't really know what to do, if we don't have a structure or set routine to really assist our children in their projects or their assignments that they're given. So we'll move straight into our topic. Oh, actually, before we do, the comment section is going off at it. I just want to say some shout outs to a lot of the brethren. So first, shout out to Sister Alina May Hayataina, and she was the first to comment, shout out. And then we have Kamelka Newcomb says, greetings to all the brethren, officers, ministers, wives, and children of Mountain States. From the Newcomb family, #Henderson. I want to give a shout out to my mom. She said hello. And then Caramelin Mendoza says, happy Saturday to everyone. Greetings from #Henderson. We have hellos from Brother Sean Mendoza and from Kamel Jones. I believe that's Brother Freddie says, happy viewing, brethren, from Las Vegas. Domingo says hello. More comments from Sister Shay from Las Vegas says, happy watching. Brother Anthony Arangay says hello. INCRadio Mountain States. Greetings from the Arangays in Salt Lake City. He also heard of our topic and he said, oh man, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I helped out my kids with their homework. Good times. And then we have Carlito Baliada says, good afternoon from Las Vegas. And then Ka Rosalinda from Las Vegas says hello. Shout out to Ka Justin Ramos and Ka Christian Ross. They're also viewing with us. Hello po. Thank you for your support. And last but not least, we'll give a shout out to Ka Ellen Docena from Albuquerque. Thank you for your support po. I'm watching from New Mexico. Beautiful. Now we have the time to be able to go into our topic discussion. It's going to be quite heavy in terms of how much we're talking, okay? It's not like heavy on the heart, but more so heavy on the discussion, because there's a lot of insight we can share with each other. And there's sort of an outline that I kind of wanted to set so we can really organize our thoughts and the insight we're going to be sharing, especially with the parents here today. So, I want to first talk about the importance of parent involvement from both mom and dad, right? My experience in the classroom as an educator, our students thrive when they have heavy parent involvement. And of course, it's assumed that you should be engaged, right? But there's a level of engagement and, heavy engagement and heavy involvement is so important. And there's many reasons why. I kind of want to ask, also the live chat, but Ate Macy, your thoughts on why you feel like it's important that parents are heavily involved in their children's education.
Yeah, well, first of all, parents are involved because you always need to know what is going on with your children. And a big part of anyone's childhood is their education. Right. So if we're not being involved on that part, then I feel like there's less involved. I mean, that you're not involved as much, and we might need to work on that. Kids are kids, especially with elementary students. They're easily distracted, especially nowadays. There's so many things that can distract them from doing what they're supposed to do, and it's very vital for parents to be involved so that they don't fall into irresponsibility. We always need to, even at a young age, we need to keep them accountable. And also, we need to keep them aware of the responsibilities that they need to do. um, it's nice to teach independence, right? But at a young age, if they're too independent and you just let them go with the flow and do their thing, well, we might not know, or they might not thrive in a way that they could. They always still need a little bit of that help, a little bit of that push, so that they know that the importance of education.
Mhm. I agree. My experience in the classroom and when talking to parents, sometimes there's a little bit of hesitation, especially for new parents, when it comes to setting boundaries and setting structure. But one thing I constantly and consistently told parents was, children thrive off of structure because it sets an expectation for them. And typically, a student or a child is going to want to meet expectations. So, if they know that there's an expectation that you have and you encourage them to remain in this structured form, they're going to want to achieve it and also still know what's expected of them. Because when children are given the option to do whatever you want, like you said, like if they have freedom and the independence to do anything and everything, they're going to do everything and anything. So until that structure and that is set there with the parent involvement, then that's when you'll really, really see them thrive and really find the successes, right? And of course, there's different types of involvement when it comes to helping, specifically with our students' education. There's big differences between being supportive and also doing work for our kids. A lot of the times, when our students or when our children, and I might often refer to them as our students since I myself don't have kids, but when our students are doing work and we see them, our typical instinct is to help them when we see something is incorrect, or help them when we see something is quote unquote wrong, right? Instead of just fixing it for them, there's a particular way we can be involved without actually doing it for them. So in the classroom, a lot of educators will do a lot of guidance, right? So if we see a student struggling, I won't say, oh, that's incorrect or that's wrong. Here's the best way to do it. We'll ask them, what's your reasoning as to why you did this? Okay, great. Thank you for explaining. Like, why don't we look at these ways, or why don't we look at it as this way? And then we walk them through the process in order to get the right answer, right? Because it's really about the journey of everything. We don't want our kids to just have the right answer for everything. They need to be able to experience and see their wrongs and their failures in order to bring them to the successes, right? So I think that's something that should be emphasized, really. If our students have, like, let's say, a project, we don't want to just do it for them. We don't want to design it for them. We want to bring their thoughts into it so that they can have that ownership, right? Was there ever a project at the Maze that Amaya was given that you kind of were like, oh, I really want to do it for her, or I want to kind of fix something, and you just let her be, or do you typically just let her
Right.
go all creative and crazy with that? What do you do?
I can't say that I haven't been tempted. I was tempted many times to just, it would just be so easy if I can just do this for her. But then you will be doing them a disservice if you, not help them figure it out. The key here is we don't just give them the answers, we help them figure it out, because that's how they will learn. But Sister Princess, while we're at it, I just want to acknowledge some of the answers that our team live chat had given, because we posed a question earlier about what are the challenges that parents have experienced in assisting children with their schoolwork. And we have Brother Anthony Arongay from #Salt Lake City. He said the most challenging initial challenge we had with our kids was to practice pre-working their assignments and projects. They had to let us know their daily, weekly tasks. Yes, again, I agree with you, Brother Anthony, because again, this is the way of like teaching children accountability and teaching them responsibility, that if there are things that they need to finish, they need to be able to finish them on time. Okay, there's a quick comment from Sister I think this is Sister Nikki Payuma. We're excited to hear some tips from our parents here on the live chat too. Please share them here. Hashtag Henderson. And our very own Ate Ina had some messages regarding a tip regarding homework. She helps with Amaya's schoolwork a lot too when she has the auntie days. So she said here, gotta make them do it right away after school, motivate them and make it fun for them. Because I think that's her way. Like she always makes it fun to do homework, and it works. Actually, it was very effective. But yeah, so keep chatting away. Team Live Chat, we'd love to hear how you do your school assistant. I mean, our kids' homework ends up being our homework too, right? We need to make sure that they're done and finished.
Yes, exactly. Just to add on to some of the comments from Brother Johnny and Sister Julie Lopez, they said sometimes they find challenges with schedule, having very big gaps between work and church activities, which is totally understandable, especially when we have parents and the children heavily involved in their duties. And we really have to do our best to make time. So we can talk about time management. And then I believe I saw another comment where Brother Anthony said that it helped that they were confident in our abilities to help them with their assignments. So they were confident in asking us for help or checking their work. Yes, and what is right here, Ate Ina said, if they don't know how to deal, of course, we just advise them to pray and ask God for help. And then did you have anything to add, Ate Nation?
Yes, there's more. Brother Johnny Lopez also said, it's hard to see our kids struggling.
Yes.
I think in response to your question earlier, if you asked, was there a time that you just want to do it for them, right? But we need to help them work through feels of frustration, help them to take tasks one by one. I think that's another very important life lesson too, not just teaching them responsibility, but overcoming frustration. Like you can't be stressed with homework. Like it's not the end of the line. Okay, you have frustrations. Let's work through it. Let's overcome the frustration, and then for you to thrive once again. I do want to sneak in one quick tip because they mentioned about time, and how there's just a huge time gap in between after their school, and then sometimes we have to go straight to church or we have to go straight to doing other chores. There's this one thing that I did before where after school, in between the extracurricular lessons that my daughter would have, like sometimes she'd go to swim or to violin, right? But before that, there's that little gap, and we take advantage of that. So after school, I just take her straight to the library. And I don't know if most libraries here in Las Vegas have the same. There's a specific room which is like homework help, and that's actually where you just sign in your kid, and then they can sit there and just focus on the homework for that day, And there are actually tutors in those libraries that can assist if ever the children need assistance in their homework. And we're actually not allowed there as parents. We just wait for them outside, and then they do their homework at the same time. So I did that, I think, when she was first and second grade, and it worked. Because then, I can guarantee that her homework is done every single day. So look that up for our parents out there with the younger elementary kids. If you have troubles with time, that might be a good option. Of course, make sure you feed your kids before you take them straight to the library. But that library hack of mine worked for a couple of years. And it really did help with her homework schedule.
Yes, I agree. I think sometimes we get so tunnel visioned in what we need to do as parents. I say we as if I'm in your shoes, right? But what I've seen in my experience as an educator is parents do get tunnel vision, that they forget that they can ask for help and that there are other resources and tools that are offered for free by the school district, by the city itself, by the county, that would assist in the successes of our children. Because at the end of the day, what we really want is for our children to thrive and to be successful, especially in their education. So if you need a tutor, you can definitely ask the classroom teachers for elementary, hey, do you offer after school tutoring? Does the school offer after school tutoring? Is there any way we can get extra help with their academics? Or, what was mentioned, just to go to the library or utilize resources around you, right? So I think that's something that is important and very worth mentioning, even for when we talk about our secondary education students, is just utilizing the resources that are provided. And if we don't know what they are, just ask. And I have 100% confidence that your school will be able to tell you what is offered, especially what is offered for free to help families with their children's academics. With this, we do want to talk about the strategies that would best help children in elementary. One of the first things, like we've mentioned, is setting a structure. And what was mentioned, what Athamasi does with Amaya, or what she did when Amaya was in first and second grade, was establishing a routine. So oftentimes, we think that we need that full hour, that full 45 minutes, 2 hours to just focus on homework, when in reality, 15 to 20 minutes a day immediately after school is plenty of time, more than enough time to be able to help your children focus. You have to remember they have a very young mind that is still maturing. So oftentimes, if you try to sit them down for an hour, it's not going to be successful. And both parties will be frustrated by the end, and they're just not going to want to do it. And it's not going to be a pleasant experience. So you want to set a routine that is suitable for you and your children. So if 15 minutes is all you can dedicate, then dedicate those 15 minutes. If it's 20 minutes, half an hour, even 10 minutes working on something specifically for your academics, then do that. If it works for you, then you should really hone in on that and work from that. And then if you want to build from 10 minutes to 20 minutes and then 20 minutes to 30 minutes, then that's something that you have to really work on and build on. Because stamina, imagine your children are in school from 7 to 8 hours, right? Their stamina is done by the end of the day. They're done. They want to go home. They want to play. They want to be with family. They want to eat. So, you have to really build the stamina. But if you establish a structure where they know, okay, as soon as I get home, I'm going to get some snacks from mom and dad. And then for 15 minutes, I'm going to work on my homework. And this is all I'm going to do for 15 minutes. Then establish that routine. And children are very visual learners. Have a visual timer. You can have those clocks that have a hand that show, you have 15 minutes, show them a timer, anything that's visual for them, so that by the end of the time, they feel accomplished and nobody's frustrated, right? So it's only a short amount of time that you really have to dedicate, and you making sure that it's distraction free. It's solely whatever you're going to focus on.
And to add to that, we have to make sure that they are able to finish the homework on the given time. One of my daughter's teachers told us before that, 15 to 20 minutes should be enough to complete the homework, because this is what we have studied for the day. If they are struggling and not able to meet that 15 to 20 minute time frame, then that means they would struggle in the actual schoolwork or actual quiz as well. So those are things to actually look forward to it. So with that, besides the routine, you also set up the environment to make sure that there's nothing affecting the timeline of the kids' homework. Like there's no TV distraction, or like maybe a toy, their favorite toys around, you want to avoid that. They're going to go towards that toy and play with it.
There needs to be a set environment, so that they know, when I go into this space, this is all I need to focus on. It's kind of like how they tell you shouldn't really work where you sleep, right? You shouldn't be on your laptop on your bed, because your bed is for sleeping, your laptop is for work, right? So you need to separate that environment in that space, so that when they go into that space specifically dedicated for their academics, they know, I need to turn my focus on so I can do my homework and my projects. On top of this, once you are establishing a routine with them, you're already building them on their basic skills to help them be more organized and teaching them that time management. So another point to touch on is building those basic skills that not only help yourself in helping them, but also help themselves in establishing routines as they grow older. because especially when they get to middle and high school and to college, a lot of the times time management is one of the bigger struggles that I had personally experienced, and that my friends and my peers experiences. We didn't really know how to manage our time. And so if you establish that early on when they're young, I know it seems like a lot for them, but it really allows them to thrive and be successful, because children are capable of so much independence. We just have to show them how to be independent, how to be structured, and how to be organized. And they will thrive and be able to do it on their own. And more importantly, they'll feel accomplished when doing so. I think that's something that I did a lot in my classroom, is especially giving classroom jobs, that they love that. They love holding responsibilities and being able to fulfill those responsibilities. I am not sure if you've experienced or seen the same in your kids at the Macy, but I'm sure, especially with Amaya, she's very responsible and thrives off of fulfilling her responsibilities, right?
Yeah, well, but there are techniques, like you said, right, that can motivate them more. And I want to squeeze in here what Sister Julie and Brother Johnny Lopez also said, that they do it by rewards too. Like they share a lot of rewards to their kids, small rewards, high fives, stickers, popsicles for a job well done. But there's also one note here that was shared to us by Brother Anthony Arongay, and how important it is. We have to also know each kid, and what works and what doesn't work. He said, I remembered having to learn different styles of learning for each child. The direct way of teaching I had for my eldest didn't work with my second and youngest. So it doesn't mean that if it worked for your eldest, that it will work for all the other kids after that. So we as parents also have to know when to adjust, based on our kids' personalities and based on our kids' way of learning, because there's different learning techniques that each individual applies, right? It's not always the same for everyone. So yeah. Oh, and there's also this very good reminder too from the Lopez family. They're reminding their kids to say a quick prayer before tests, or in our case right now, we're talking about schoolwork, whenever they feel overwhelmed. Whether parents are there or not, God is always with them. And I think that's the important driving point in this entire discussion.
Yes, exactly. As we close on our first part of the discussion, these are very important things. And especially what Brother Anthony said, each child you have is going to be different. So if you take it from a teacher's perspective, if you have 20 to 25 students in a classroom, not one method of teaching is going to fit all 25, right? So you really have to adjust to the individual and to the student so that you can make sure that they are thriving. And what teachers will do a lot of the times is they'll do small groups or even one-on-one work. And so similarly with parents, if you have 2-3 children, you have to really get to know your kids and see what works best for them. And if something doesn't work out, then try a new method. You can't really, continue the same method and expect the same different results. So I really love that, Brother Anthony. Thank you for sharing that. And before we go on to our station break, I just want to say that these also can be applicable for our middle school students and high school, which we are going to talk about in our part 2. So please continue to stay tuned. We are going to go on a short station break, but like I said, we're going to continue this discussion in talking about the strategies that would help our older students or older children who are around the Binhi age, right? Starting middle school. It's different methods, different classroom settings, and different school environment for them. So stay tuned as we continue to talk about the best ways to guide our children in their schoolwork. Once again, we will be right back. This is INCRadio, Mountain States.
This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ, or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Being model students, helping the elderly when in need, obeying our parents, doing house chores,
and sharing the true faith are just some of the qualities that young members of the Church of Christ possess.
As members of the Church of Christ, it is fundamental for the youth to always live according to the true Christian values.
When was the last time you made someone smile? When was the last time you made friends with others?
Yes, please. Hi, this is Amaya. Hello, Amaya. Let's play together.
Include, invite, befriend. A small gesture of friendship can make someone's day. A message from INCRadio Mountain State Satellite Studio.
Here on INC Radio Mountain States, always promoting Christian values, especially here on INC Radio, overall, abroad and all. And so as we continue our topic discussion, just to recap, we were talking about how to help our students, especially our younger ones, in their schoolwork and their projects. We talked about creating a structure, a routine, helping them learn to be organized, communicating with our communicating with our teachers and the school and the community to see what resources we can provide, as well as personalizing the way that we work with our children. Again, not all kids are different. Every student will be the same. Well, not all kids are the same, but everyone is different. So, of course, our methods in helping them might have to adjust to who we're helping. So, with that, as we move forward, we are going to talk about our older students. Before we do, at the Macy, do we have any comments that we can read or say hello to, especially with our chat? I know Ka Ellen DeSena from Albuquerque is just going off and saying hello.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, first and foremost, a belated happy birthday to our resident minister and local of Las Vegas, Brother Alex Chavez, and also advance happy birthday to one of our ministers, also at the local of Las Vegas, Brother Lito Balyada. He's also celebrating his birthday in the next couple of days. So happy birthday to you both, po. Sister Ellen DeSena, thank you so much from hashtag Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Gallup, Farmington, hashtag MTS Rock Solid. She is one of our greatest supporters here, but we also have our brethren from the local of Las Vegas, Ka Doming, Ka Linda Bilyada, hello po. We have Ka Lourdes, also Sister Evelyn Mendoza from hashtag Henderson is also here. She says, happy Saturday, hashtag MTS Rock Solid. We also have our brethren from, we have one of our brethren from the Philippines actually who said their hellos. He was one of the ones who greeted us from the local of Brixtonville, if I'm not mistaken. But it was very early on in the show, and now I couldn't pull it down. But hello to you, po. We got your message. Hello as well to Brother Abel DeSena from also hashtag Albuquerque. The first commenter of the day, I took note of it earlier. It was actually Amaya. So thank you, Amaya, for supporting INCRadio Mountain States. And then the second in attendance is our very own Kamelka Newcomb from hashtag Henderson. So hello po, Kamelka. Thank you for always supporting INCRadio Mountain States. We also have Sister Shay Chavez is here from hashtag Las Vegas. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining us live today on INC Radio.
I love that. And I'm not sure, there were so many birthdays. I'm not sure if we got to say happy birthday to Arnel DeSena, but that was coming from Sister Amy Malier. You might have said it. There's so many birthdays here in the month of June. Our resident minister also had just celebrated his birthday yesterday. I know he was being on the low and quiet about it, so I won't say who our resident minister is, but if you know who he is from South Las Vegas, shout out to you. Happy birthday. So thank you so much for leading South Las Vegas. All right, moving forward with our topic discussion. So we talked about helping with our younger children, especially in elementary school, establishing a structure, establishing routines, and teaching them how to be independent, right? But now our children, as they get older, and they go into middle school, they go into high school, right? Especially with middle school, this is the first time that they're going to experience going to multiple classrooms, having to study for different subjects with different teachers, having different peers in each classroom, having to have their own schedule and be in charge of their schedule. They're now having to be very independent, right? And they have to now be able to manage their time wisely, which is why it's important to teach them while they're in elementary school how to have that structure and how to have time management. So strategies for our middle school students, right? Firstly, is promoting independence and teaching them and encouraging them to be self-management, right? Having that self-management and having themselves be accountable. Because like was mentioned earlier about the Macy, as parents, you guys were the ones who kept them accountable, right? And you taught them right from wrong and the best ways to move forward, especially in academics. But now they're in this environment where they have to be able to manage their own schedule and manage their own time. What do you think about independence out there as Amaya continues to grow older?
Yes, I think it's very important. We're still working. Sorry. Apologies for the background.
No, it's okay.
You can tell all the kids are also around here. But yes, it's currently a work in progress because, to be very honest, nowadays, I mentioned this earlier, there's a lot of distractions. Like it's so hard to pin these kids down. And so as much as we want to give them the independence to learn more, we always had to watch their back too, because like I said, they're very easily distracted. But she's getting to that point, she's getting to that age where it's a required skill, right? To have that independence and for us parents to have that confidence that if we say, okay, go to your room, complete your homework for the day, that she will be able to complete it and she will be able to complete it properly. And so little by little, we take it step by step, not completely abrupt.
Yes.
And then she'll stumble. She would stumble in the first ones, and then we have to go back, putting some restrictions again, and then until we get to that comfortable level where we could say, okay, she'd be able to now do things on her own properly. So it's a work in progress. We'll get there eventually.
As everything is, and I really admire that about parents, because as your students and as your children really are learning to be students and learning to be these human beings, you're also learning how to raise a human being. So kudos to all the parents who put in so much work and so much effort into making sure that their students thrive and that their children are thriving. And so, with independence and with what we talked about in the first part of the discussion, this really translates well to how it can be evolved and continued as our children get older, right? So, of course, promoting independence and now setting goals and having them track their progress in their organizational skills, right? So we talked about having a timer, when your kids are working. Again, they're very visual. So if they can see it, then they'll be able to feel more accomplished once it's created, right? Or once it's done. And so this can be translated into showing how to use a planner, right? How to use calendars or different electronic calendars and apps to be able to keep progress or to time block their days. I think a lot of middle schools here in the county, at least in Las Vegas, do provide school planners. I know when I was in middle school, we had school planners that they would give us, and those were really helpful once we learned how to use it. So I think on the parents' part, we can teach our children how to properly manage our time by doing time blocks. I know planning and note taking, and I mean, where's my planner? I have it right here. Is important. And so there's different types of planners you can teach them. For myself, I thrive off of having a monthly planner. So for example, like people usually like to have like daily or weeklies. My brain can't focus on a daily or a weekly planner. So mine is a monthly planner, and I just highlight my time blocks. I just write the time that I need to do something. And so that's what works for me personally.
Speaking of planners, Sister Princess, you can download really amazing planners from incmedia.org. Okay, so for all of our parents out there who might not know about this, just go to incmedia.org. There's a lot of printable resources there that you can do and you can give to your children. And they're very nice. There are some that would have verses from the Bible that can inspire them. And there are some that have graphics, that are very captivating.
Yes.
And they're all like, they're made for us, members of the Church of Christ. For
creative Christian planner, right?
Creative Christian planner. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So spend some time, please. Even right now, maybe if you're on your phone, just go to, or on your laptop, incmedia.org, and just search for the Creative Christian Planner. It's a very nice resource.
Yes, I agree. Thank you for mentioning that, because especially with, with how we are in our schedule and how we can be so involved with church. Again, like you said, it's really made for us. With that said, like, in helping our children and in being organized and helping them with the structure, now talking about the actual curriculum that they're studying. So now they're out of elementary and we're like, what are we supposed to do when it's all these topics that we fully don't understand, right? Again, utilize your resource, parents. If there are resources for tutoring, there are plenty of them offered. And sometimes your students might forget to tell you that that's what they've learned, because even for elementary, especially the 4th and 5th graders, there are specific tools that the county provides each school where they can have online tutoring, right? You just have to make sure that they have their school laptop, and then that they can show you how to log into a certain website to get online tutoring, right? So if there's topics that we don't fully understand as parents, or you're a parent and you're just saying science is not my strong point, because I know when I have kids in the future, they're not going to ask me for help for science or physics, because that's not my strong suit. But what I'm going to show them are the tools that they can use to be able to help them with their curriculums, right? Going to the library, even studying with friends, I feel is very important. Especially if their friends are encouraging study sessions. The best way to learn really is to teach the subject. So if you want somebody to be fully knowledgeable in whatever subject, just ask them to teach it, and then they're going to learn it in order to help and teach. And there's going to be discoveries, and you'll see a lot of it if you were in the classroom. I know a lot of educators can attest to this, that students learn off of each other, and that's one of the best methods in order for their knowledge to grow and for them to succeed and thrive. What do you think out there?
And there are some great comments here, again, from our team live chat. I'm starting with Brother Anthony. Said, I've taught my kids that as they grow older, they have more self-authority. Having said that, they mostly had socialization problems during middle school, and keeping accountability during high school. So the challenges that you mentioned earlier, Sister Princess, were really happening in real life for a lot of our children. And from the Lopez family, we need to continue to check on completion of assignments and how much time is spent with games / technology. You mentioned cell phones and whatnot, right? But there's like the proper use of cell phone and the improper use of cell phone during schoolwork.
Yes.
Thank you for mentioning that, making sure they have healthy snacks. So sometimes, for me personally, I forget this, I forget that, when they're learning, you have to nurture them too and provide them with snacks. They shouldn't be hungry, they shouldn't be thirsty. But sometimes when you're just so focused on the task that needs to be done, you throw them right there in the lion's den and you're like, okay, complete that. Let's try to remember to give them healthy snacks. She also added, physical exercise is also important. So in order for the brain to function, they also should be moving. And then speaking of phones, last comment here, she said, Phones was the new tool they acquired in middle school and high school. That's right. That's when we start giving them this independence and them having gadgets, right? It was really helpful in planning and reminders when they started using it properly, but it was also their number one distraction. So it's a double-edged sword.
No, I agree, and this is when we really have to teach them about accountability as parents, right? And making sure they understand that it's studies first or academics first. Something that Brother Anthony also mentioned is that CBI is, and we mentioned CBI plenty of times on our show, they offer activities where you can do study sessions. And if there's not a particular activity, you can approach a CBI officer who is willing to do a study session with you. More than 9 out of 10, got that backwards, 10 out of 9 times, okay? Because they will always be willing to help. It's not a miss. It's always, yeah, let's work together, let's study together. So our CBI team, our CBI organization here is always willing to help, and that's what they're there for. I know there's a lot of challenges, especially with, as parents. And again, I can't speak personally because I don't have kids, but I've witnessed in my classroom experience, parents having these different challenges, right? But we have to be, one, yes, setting structure and providing them a routine and keeping them accountable, but two, being loving and nurturing, as Macy mentioned. Sometimes school, we forget what we don't know, right? Or we forget what's the best way to put this? Sometimes we forget what we didn't know. Okay, so meaning to say, sometimes we forget what the stress is like and what the anxiety felt like when we were their age. So all they have to worry about is school at the moment, right? That's one of their biggest priorities, is school. Aside from their duties, aside from the membership, school is one of their main priorities. And sometimes we forget that as adults, that this is what causes them their stress and their anxiety, because as adults, we focus so much on our priorities that to us, sometimes it's so minor. We look back and we say, oh man, that was such a minor thing. That was so little when we were your age. Don't worry about it. But we have to really step into their shoes and we have to empathize with them. And as parents, as guardians, we need to make sure that we are there to support them, to show them love, right? And to encourage them to be successful. Because once we provide them this environment that's loving, they're going to be more willing to approach us for help. They're going to be more willing to open up to us and tell us what they're really struggling with school. And instead of, saying, oh man, you got a C on this, oh man, you're not doing well in this subject, let's turn the script and say, hey, I see that you're struggling with this subject. What can I do to provide you any assistance? Or who can we call? Do you have any friends who are good in this subject? Maybe we can ask them to study with you. So let's flip the script and, encourage their successes rather than, getting so upset if they're not succeeding. Because again, this is their priority. They want to graduate and they want to be successful, and they want to make sure that they make parents and guardians proud of their successes. So if there are any challenges that we may come across as parents, remember, they're also facing those challenges plus more, because they're the ones in school right now. So one thing I just like to emphasize from an educator's perspective to parents and guardians out there doing their best in assisting their children to succeed in their academics is to always empathize with them and to show them their love and their care, and that you're always rooting for them. Because once they see that, they're going to be more motivated to thrive and to be successful in their academics. And, really, as parents and as guardians, we should always provide our support to your children, right? Especially in their education. More importantly, we should be role models in this, not only emphasizing the importance of their studies, but most especially prioritizing and showing the importance of their faith and their membership inside the church. We continue to remind our children that, in all that we do, even in our academics especially, we should always prioritize our Lord God, pray to Him to help us in all things, and He will continue to bless us in all and every aspect of our life. So hopefully this was insightful for all of our parents out there, for all of those who have children. Again, I give many kudos to all of you for your hard work and leading your children to their successes in life. You are the number one people who build the youth, and I can only imagine how much work it takes to really mold your children to be such strong people and strong Christians here in this life. So at the Macy Ron, your children, I feel like, really are a manifestation of how your parenting is, and to see children succeed. I look to the parents to see, wow, what great parents, and how you are raising them. So amazing work. And I just want to give thanks to everybody who are working so hard. So thank you. And I know this is the end of the discussion, but please feel free to continue to talk in the chats, because there's so much to talk about with this, and we still are continuing our series with school. So for the rest of June, you need to make sure you tune in here to INC Radio Mountain States, especially next week, as we are drawing closer to the end of this series. Ate Mace, do we have any final comments we can give shout outs to? Yes.
Sorry, I was muted. There's just, actually, up to the very end, Brother Anthony Aranda and also Brother Johnny, Sister Julie Lopez kept on commenting and providing their tips. So thank you so much, Bo, for supporting today's show. Really appreciate it. But there's also a special birthday greeting to Brother Alex Dialogo and Sister Eden Vasquez of the local of Denver. That's coming from Sister Marisol Kunt, and also from Sister Lina Dumayak. So happy birthday to you, brother and sister. And also big happy birthday to Kalorden Ignacio. Those are greetings coming from Kadoming, and also some brethren from Henderson as well, greeting him. I also just wanted to, my last thought on this, Sister Princess, I was reading about the topic, of course, before the show, and there was actually, for our older kids, there was a research done for high schoolers, Cooper's research at Duke University. They suggest that 2 hours per night is sometimes optimal for kids that are older when doing their homework. And it shows that the average high school student doing homework outperformed 69% of the students in a class with no homework. So to our parents out there, we just hang in there, keep it going. Helping your kids with homework, making sure that they finish them actually helps them in the long run. So thank you for joining us on today's show.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. And last kudos that Brother Johnny, Sister Julie wanted to share is kudos to our teachers, not only in school, but especially to the CWS teachers, helping our children be strong in faith and trust in God, teaching our children to always pray. So yes, kudos to all the teachers and the educators out there. So thank you. Of course, we want to say a special thank you to our beloved church administration, especially our executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our CEO, president of CEBSI and CFO coordinator, Brother Angelo Erano Manalo, our executive producer, Brother Emmanuel Andaya, our district minister, Brother Lowell Newcomb, our assistant district minister, Brother Oliver Canlas, our CFO overseer, Brother Christian Ira Ross, our DMM or District Multimedia Advisor, Brother Justin Ramos, the District Multimedia team, and all of our avid listeners of INC Radio Mountain States. This is all the time that we have for today, but of course, we constantly thank you for all of your support and for watching and listening to INC Radio Mountain States. Continue to stay tuned here on INC Radio DZEM 954, changing lives through God's words. Up next is INC Radio Canada. We'll see you all next week. Thank you.
See you next week. Bye.